Hey guys, welcome to Car Academy. In this series of video, we are looking into CS3251 Programming in C of Anna University Regulations 2021. Let's get started. So today we are going to see the applications of C. I don't have a slide, but let's just write as we speak. Okay, so C is basically one of the earliest language. Okay, it's basically developed after the language B, and then you have C++ and various other languages in the pipeline. So C is mostly used for the system programming, which in sense basically it's used for writing kernel drivers and various system software. For example, embedded systems, kernel drivers is basically a driver that's written for various operating system. For an example, Linux operating system drivers are entirely written in C. Nowadays, some of the drivers are basically written in another programming language called Rust, which is much more secure than C programming. So one of the application of C is basically system programming, and then it basically provides various libraries. For example, math library, threading library, and things like that. So they are basically used by professionals for writing complex programs. And the advantage of C programming is basically portability. You can write a program in a Windows operating system and run that same program on Linux operating system or a Mac operating system. You just need to compile and then run. So the same program can be run across multiple operating system. We would say basically this is a platform independent programming language. And C is also sometimes called as an intermediate language. So let's write intermediate language. C was also designed as a programming language where it's not meant to be used as a compiler target language. So yeah, these are basically the main applications of C. I would highlight that C is primarily used in various system programming, uh, particularly in kernel drivers, some embedded system software development, etc. Embedded system software development, etc. Okay, now let's dive into a structure of a C program. For that, let me go through the Visual Studio. So I think you might be familiar with the Visual Studio. So we previously wrote a Hello World program in VS Code. Now let me show you the structure of a C program. So a structure of a C program looks something like this. So first you have the preprocessor directives. um, I think to start with, you might be wondering what is this double slash. This is nothing but comment. Anything that you write after two slashes will not be used by your compiler. This is basically written for the human understanding. The computer will not process these. You can write anything here. Okay, so initially you have the preprocessor directives. The preprocessor directives are nothing but anything that starts with hash include or preprocessor directives. So here we are including the standard input output header file. You would include math.h, and there are several other header files available. But for the simple program, you will have standard input output header file. And then in any program, you have a function called main. Without a function main, you won't be able to compile, or you won't be able to run a C program. You might be able to compile the program, but you won't be able to create executable and run it on a computer. So you should have a main program in any, sorry, you should have a main function in any C program. So that's important. Other than that, you can also have other functions like func1. It can be any name. I'm just giving you func other functions. So let's say func2. Okay, so there could be other functions. So this is basically a high level structure of a C program. Now as we see in the last program, let's take a look at this hello world.c. So here is basically the preprocessor directives, and here is the main function. and this particular statements, they are called function body. Okay, let's not try to address this, that's fine. I think return 0 is because this is a void function, we should not return anything. That's why it's just trying to report some error here. Not an error, it's just a warning. Okay. Yeah, so all functions are basically, including main, are divided into two parts: the declaration section and the definition section, or the statement section. So this is basically the declaration section, and this is the statement section, are also called the function body. Okay. So yeah, that's about the structure of the C program. In the next coming video, we will be looking at the keywords, identifiers, data types, etc. Stay tuned. If you like this video, subscribe to this channel and share it with your friends. We will be teaching most of these concepts using the VS Code, by writing programs in VS Code. So I think more than the theoretical part will cover practical aspects of C programming. You will be able to understand the concepts much more than just reading the book. Okay. Thank you guys. See you in the next video. Bye.